Okay, sports fans, here we go. We are on review 6-3. This is number 13. 13, 14, 15, and 16. These are the equations. Everything else has been expressions. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get a common denominator and ignore the denominator. That's really what we can do. So if all you've got is a fraction on one fraction on either side, well then just cross multiply and solve for x. So 6 times x plus 1 equals 9 times x. X minus 1, I'm sorry. One more. Equals 9 times x plus 1. So that's 6x minus 6 equals 9x plus 9. Move your x's one way and your numbers and your units the other, so I'll subtract the 6x. I'll move my x's to the right. So move that over there. 9 minus 6 is 3. Negative 6 minus 9 is negative 15. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. And now remember, you always have to check the denominator. If I plug in a negative 5 for x, will I get 0 in my denominators? And if the answer is no, like in this case, because negative 5 plus 1, that's negative 4. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. Since I don't get 0, we're good. Okay? Number 14. Same idea. Cross multiply and divide. See if you can do it. Okay, we're back. Cross multiply. So I've got negative 1 times x squared minus 27 equals x minus 4 times x plus 3. Distribute everything out. So I'll distribute the negative 1. So that's negative x squared plus 27 equals, let's distribute the x. That's x squared plus 3x. And then distribute the 4. Negative 4 times x is, well, negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Alright, so we have an x squared and an x. So we're probably going to have to factor or use our quadratic equation to solve this. So we'll get everything to one side. I'm going to go right, because I like it when my x squared is positive. It just makes me feel so much better. Ooey gooey inside. So this is a negative x squared, so I'll add x squared. This is a 27, so I'll subtract 27. So I get 0 equals 2x squared. 3 minus 4 is negative 1, so negative x. And negative 12 minus 27, that's 29. 39 minus 39. Wow. And that looks like a butt. I don't think this is factorable. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my quadratic equation. Remember your quadratic formula. And here we go. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So here we go. Negative 1 is positive 1. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Minus 4 times 2 times 39 all over 2a, which is 2 times 2. Which equals 1 plus or minus 2 times 39 is, that's what, 40, that's 80. 80 minus 2 is 78. 78 times negative 4. Oh, that's a negative 39. Oops. Don't forget your negatives. So that's 78. 78 times 4. Let's go over here and just do this real quick. 78 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. 7 times 4 is 28. 29, 30, 31, 312. Which is not. So 1 plus 312 is 313. So that's the square root of 313, which is really not divisible by anything pretty. So that's your answer, or answers. Just go with it. I don't think anything multiplies into negative 313. Give me a second, let me check on that. Nope, just check. Doesn't reduce. So there you go. That's your answer. Number 15, 16, same idea, except we can't cross multiply because we have an extra term right here. This one has a 4. Actually, they both have 4s. Whatever. But we get a common denominator just like we did earlier. So we've got an x plus minus 4 and an x. So this first one needs an x. So we have x minus 3 times x over x minus 4. The next one we have a 4 times x minus 4, because it needs both pieces on the bottom, x minus 4. And the last one, at least, the 3x, already has an x down there, but it needs the x minus 4. Oh, that would have made life easier. Oh well. And now, because we have a common denominator and that equal sign, we can cancel that out and start distributing. Here we go. X times x is x squared. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. 4x times x is positive 4x squared. 4 times negative 4 is 4x times negative 4, is negative 16x. Equals 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 4 is negative 12x. Get everything to one side. So that's, we'll subtract the 3x squared and we'll add the 12x. Which is nice, we don't have any units, so that cancels both those guys out. So we have 1, 5, 2, so we have a 2x squared. We have 3 minus 16 is negative 19, plus 12 is 7. So that's negative 7x equals 0. And that factors quite nicely down to x times 2x minus 7. So in this case, x is going to equal 0 and positive 7 halves, but you don't need the positive sign for that. You can just say 7 halves. Now for this one of those does not work, because if I plug in a 0 right here, we cannot divide by 0, so therefore that one does not work. The answer is simply x equals 7 halves. Alright? Number 16 is the exact same thing. Alright, go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try number 16. Get a common denominator and be done. Alright, here we go. Hopefully you did it. We need an x plus 4 and an x minus 1 under all of these. So the first one, that's 6x times x minus 1 over that common denominator. The second one is a 4 times x plus 4 and x minus 1. The third one is a 2x plus 2 times, it's got the x minus 1, so it needs the x plus 4. And then start distributing. I'm going to start by distributing this one right here that is. That's 4x plus 16. And then I can distribute that across.
Please.
There you go, buddy. Alright, so at this point, moved everything over. Let's just start collecting our terms. I've got, what am I doing? 6, 10, minus 2 is 8, so that's 8x squared. Negative 6, negative 10, negative 20, plus 16 makes it negative 4. And negative 16 minus 8 is negative 24. So I'm going to go ahead and divide out a 4 out of that. So that's 4 times 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0. So that can be factored down to 4 2x minus 3 x plus 1 equals 0. Is that right? Yep. So your answers are x equals 1, negative 1, I'm sorry, and positive 3 halves. And can we have a negative 1? Let me erase this and put it in a different place. So x equals negative 1 and positive 3 halves. Which I can. If I plug in a negative 1 in for either one of those, it's still okay. We don't get 0. So there you go.